I'm so excited because we're here with Jarrod Spector from Beautiful and Jersey Boys. You do a lot of jukebox musicals.
I do, believe it or not. Yeah.
And now you're creating a cabaret with jukebox.
Yes, and believe it or not, those things are related. Yeah, I was coming. So here's the way. The show is called Jukebox Life, and it'll be here at Feinstein's 54 Below, November 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th at 7 p.m. and November 13th, the Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. for anyone who's going to see a show and wants to come afterwards. And the way the show came about is that one night toward the end of my run at Beautiful, I was coming out of the stage door and I was feeling a little nostalgic and a little sentimental about leaving because I'd been in it for almost 3 years. And I remember there was the usual crowd of people who want their autographs and selfies, and I walked over and this woman said, "Oh my God, I saw you in Jersey Boys like 8 times. I couldn't miss you in this." And in Jersey Boys, like Frankie Valli and Carole King are my favorite music of all time. Like, what is it like to have this incredible jukebox life? I sort of got what she meant. For the past 10 years, I've been in these 2 jukebox musicals, musicals that use existing song catalogs to tell the stories of the artists. And so I started to think about how, what that meant to me. And little funny coincidences, like every night in Jersey Boys, I would come out, the first song I would sing is "I Can't Give You Anything But Love." And then Frankie says the line, "Yeah, it's the first song I ever knew the words to." Well, as it happens, that's the first song I ever knew the words to, and it's the first song I can remember singing. It's the first song I sang on Ed McMahon's Star Search when I was 6 years old, and
you were on Star Search?
Oh yeah, and in the show I'm going to weave in multimedia to show this is me now, and this was me then. And
what did you sing on Star Search?
I sang all Bobby Darin music, including "I Can't Give You Anything But Love," "Mac the Knife," "Up a Lazy River," "Splish Splash," and that's what I grew up on. So,
how old were you?
I was 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you were in the kid version.
I was in the junior vocalist category. Yeah, I mean it was the same year as like Linda Eder and, and Drew Carey
I watched it
and all
then.
These wonderful people. Yeah, it was 1988. Yeah. So all these amazing people, and I look back and it seems like a totally different tiny human being, but it was my life, and all these funny little coincidences, throughout my career have existed. They keep sort of bubbling up. And
so have you always wanted to be a performer?
Well, I think I was raised to be a performer. I don't think that I could have learned as much music starting at age 3 as I was able to learn if I didn't have a certain propensity for learning it. And so by the time I was old enough to choose what I wanted to do, I had been bred to do this. And so whether by nature or nurture, by the time I was able to think rationally about what I wanted to do, I was already doing it.
Were your parents in the business?
My parents, no, they're not. I mean, my father was, was a drummer. My mother is musical, but neither of them did it professionally. They just felt, when I was very, very little, when I was 2.5, 3 years old, I would memorize radio commercials, and my mother noticed that this was happening, and so she taught me the song "Side by Side" that we did as a duet, and we did it for my father, and he was 3 years old. He could sing a song, and we went to a local play, and I ended up on a local Philadelphia area variety show called the Al Albert Showcase. So every week I would learn a new song and sing it on the show, and then it would air on weekend mornings, and I did that every week for years until Star Search, and
wow.
Just went along
so wait,
there.
are you like me? When you go to see a show, do you memorize the whole score? A lot of it?
I pick up music fairly quickly. I certainly don't memorize all of it instantly.
No, I actually do.
You memorize the whole thing. You have
a lot of it.
Phonographic memory.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That's amazing. I wish I had that.
If you could choose a jukebox show over a brand new composer show, what would you rather do?
It's a difficult question, and here's what I don't mean to cop out of it. I think whatever is the better material, ultimately. Some jukebox musicals are bad, and some are wonderful, and some original composer shows are incredible, and some are less so. And so, really, it's just whatever speaks to me. If I were offered the Bruce Springsteen musical, and it was phenomenally written, and the story was great, and it really told
I could see you playing him.
And I talk about that in the show, and I sing "Born to Run" because it's the thing that I would love to do if I could. If something like that came along, of course I would do that. But if Lin-Manuel Miranda wanted me to do his next show, then you'd have a real toss-up. But if a show is more like a jukebox musical where the songs are sort of shoehorned in to be sort of sung dialogue and they don't quite fit, and it all feels a little bit toe scrunchy, that's less appealing.
If you could choose a composer to work with, who would you want to work with?
Is it unfair to say Stephen Sondheim? Can I
No.
just say, yeah, so Stephen Sondheim. I've always loved all of his shows. I've never been in a Sondheim show, so if I could be part of one, that'd be amazing. Or Lynn. Lynn's not bad.
If you had to choose a song that says who Jarrod Spector is, what would that song be?
Oh, that's a really tough one. So, like, you want like a self-defining
Yeah.
song?
What you think is you.
I think is me.
And it can be a copulation.
It can be. Well, for one reason or another, I connect very much with Jamie from the last 5 years. There are certainly songs in there that feel, even though I'm an actor and that character is a writer, there are certain parts of him that I feel. I hope that I'm less misogynistic than he often comes across, but a song like "Shik's a Goddess," which I sing in my
song.
show, that represents my life. I mean, I met my wife Kelly Barrett, and that was the song that like just exploded in my brain the moment we met, and so. I don't know that I have a self-defining song, but that these kinds of songs are the ones that fit into my life and say, and really speak to me and are parallels. So yeah.
And last question, what would you like people to know about you?
Oh, I am. Here's something I would like. Anyone who wants to be an actor or anyone who sees people on stage and they think I am as nutty and insecure as everybody else, and we all sort of are. Anyone who professes or puts up some front of arrogance or this constant confidence, I think that's all a front. I don't think that's real. And we're I'm just a scared kid who I'm not a kid anymore, but who's like just looking for his next job and trying to find my way. And I love to sing and I love music and I love venues like 54 Below where you can really connect with an audience and tell stories and say, I go through this, don't you go through the same thing? And I think that's something that makes this world so wonderful in a way that that big theater shows. It's just a different animal where you can really look in someone's eyes and connect with them and say, this is my life, this is what I've gone through. And I love when people come out after a show and say, oh my God, when you said the thing about the box, I feel like I've been put in the box. And anyway, that's what I
Thank you.